Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 20 of my 1.5 versus 6 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I am playing against a team of 6 Emperor AI, although I did begin the game with an AI teammate set to Lord difficulty. In this series, I'm playing as the Goblin Rogue, Gnulsa Nightstar. In our last episode, we continued to kind of zero in on one of our opponents, that being Reynold Quazarin, the Nomad Warlord. You can see here, this is his throne city. If we zoom out, you can see the little icon there. And last we saw of it, it wasn't particularly well defended, and we've actually got a couple of stacks kind of ready to pounce. So we've got Beneath's here in her stack, along with a Shadow Stalker that's now going to join the party. And then you can see over here, we've got Volinara, who's our Necromancer hero, along with her stack, and she's going to be bringing in some additional forces, as well as another Shadow Stalker over here. Not to mention, we've got a few more coming in from the south, along with this Succubus. So we've got a lot of forces that in the next turn or two are going to be able to basically strike at the throne city of Reynold. So that's going to be kind of our primary focus. Another thing to point out is that we actually have Master Cartographer in the pipe here. One more turn and we should have this ready to go. And what this will do is explore the entire map for us, although Fog of War will still be present. So effectively it's going to remove the cloud cover, but leave this kind of darkness here unless a unit or a structure is there to actually provide full vision. But at the very least, we'll kind of see what everything is, basically. So that's going to be really useful. Now, before I dive into the episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the previous episode. However, before I do that, I am going to just start the turn flipping over process, because I think we can kind of kill two birds with one stone. So let's think about what we want to summon here as a spell real quick. We had a number of different options. We also gain the ability to summon Spirit Elementals, which is kind of cool because they have the ability to heal, which could be useful along with my, if I have stacks of, let's say, Shadow Stalkers or something like that. So I'm actually quite happy to have this. That said, I might want to do a Spiritual Freedom, and let's just take a quick look here. So I seem to recall, yeah, we need one on Kenton, although it's still 2 more turns. So we might be able to hold off on that. You know what? Let's do... I'm kind of tempted to try Spirit Elemental just to get one of them to go along with my other stacks here. You know what? I think we'll do that. We'll do a Spirit Elemental. It's nice to have a unit that can heal. And yeah, so we're going to flip the turn over. Just double check that there was nothing else we wanted to do. Yeah, those are all join offers. So we will end the turn there. And while it's flipping over, let's go through some of these comments. Now, the first set of comments here is from Andre Gavril. Andre pointed out that I should probably use Control Undead more often than I'm using it. I kind of default to, whether it's with my Necromancers, I like using Greater Reanimate Undead, or with some of my heroes. In particular, I believe Gnulsa is the one who has Control Undead. I oftentimes will end up using Charm instead. But especially with my Necromancer heroes, it's useful to remember that I have 2 opportunities to gain units. I have undead units in particular, Greater Reanimate Undead, but also Control Undead. Just, the difference there is that Greater Reanimate Undead is a guarantee, whereas Control Undead is a chance. But I appreciate Andre pointing that out, because in particular in that one battle last episode where I was in a tomb, I could have maybe gotten my hands on a Reanimator. The next set of... Andre had one more comment here. Also, just to make sure I'm prioritizing... my heroes for XP, especially if I'm interested, like in my Necromancers, to getting them up to level 7. So that might mean, instead of using the Necromancer to heal, I might want to actually go in for the kill, as I believe that does generate more XP than just using your abilities. The next comment here is from Gladden. Gladden pointed out that, so last episode we got ourselves a very powerful Lizardman unit. You can see him right here. Lizardman Quarreler. It's a tier 4 infantry unit that can move across the water freely, as I believe it has swimming. Let's see. Yeah, swimming. So extremely powerful unit. It would be beneficial to actually move this unit to join in with Beneath's eventually. And the reason for that is because Beneath's has this item, which basically means that if I add a Lizardman into this stack, the Lizardman and I believe Beneath's will also get additional health. Actually, hang on, let's see. Effect is also applied separately between heroes and leaders. So I'm not 100% sure if it affects Beniefs, but it would affect the Lizardman unit, and the Lizardman unit would also get a morale boost. So it would actually make a lot of sense to get the unit in there. And even if Beniefs is leading a floating stack, because that unit has swimming, it might actually not be so bad. Although if we're trying to get across mountain ranges, could be a bit of a challenge. And there you can see we're getting our stuff disjuncted as always, so we'll have to recast that. Whoops. So let's see what else here. Gladden also pointed out that there's continuing changes going on with the Shadow Realm and Wasteland expansion mod packs. And there's you can check out Gladden's comment, but there's a previously required additional mod that was needed for random map generation, but it's now going forward not going to be required. So that's something we can address when a future playthrough happens and I have to pick which mods I'm using. But thank you to Gladden for pointing that out and giving me some additional information regarding which mods are required and which aren't. The next comment's here from Ivan Engel. Ivan pointed out that I should probably have scouted more earlier in the game, especially as a rogue. That would have been really useful for me, and I agree with Ivan. Again, I'm still learning how to play the rogue. I'm quite inexperienced when it comes to this particular class, so you know I definitely made some kind of early game mistakes, and I probably haven't used the class to the to its fullest. So I'm still working on that, but I appreciate Ivan pointing it out. Ivan also kind of had some suggestions, or was kind of just talking about ways that you could maybe make the game more difficult, because the AI can sometimes leave a bit to be desired when it comes to difficulty. Obviously, the Emperor AI can be very challenging, but at times, especially if you're a more experienced player, they can become somewhat predictable and easy to deal with. So Ivan was kind of just, thinking about maybe different ways that you could make future games more challenging against the AI. And that's something that I'm happy to take any suggestions or ideas on. If anybody, thinks of something that might make the game more difficult, or, particular game settings, whether it's, map settings or, stuff with the setup, or, and again, I've thought about this before as well, the idea of self-imposed handicaps. So thank you to Ivan for pointing that out. And again, let me know your suggestions in the comments. And again, we'll probably talk about that more towards the end of the playthrough, once this series is coming to its end, and that'll matter for subsequent playthroughs. And here we are, we're being attacked. So we're gonna probably actually try this battle. So before I do it, I'll just quickly shout out Albtrom as well. So Albtrom left some excellent comments. As always from Albtrom, we had some really, really great battle breakdowns, which I always appreciate. Again, good learning opportunity there. But Albtrom also mentioned that, generally speaking, I seem to be in pretty good shape now that I've met my opponents and kind of gotten to see a little bit of what they have kind of for their strength. Albtrom said that I seem to be, probably a bit stronger than them. And I agree. I think with my Shadow Stalkers and some of my upgrades that I have, I'm in really, really good shape. That said, I have to be very careful because obviously there's still all 6 opponents in play. Albtrom also mentioned that I need to be careful when I have units that are in a stack on land and then another unit that's beside them in the water. And that was actually in reference to Beniefs. What can happen is if your unit in the water gets attacked, it can pull only some of the units from the stack instead of the whole stack next to it, and you can end up actually losing a bunch of units or losing a battle that you kind of didn't think you were going to lose because, in your head you're thinking, oh, I have a stack there, all the units will come in. But it'll only take units that I think are either floating, flying, or swimming, if I'm not mistaken, that'll actually be in the water without having to embark. So, again, just an important consideration. And then the reverse of that is also true. So, just be very mindful when you're kind of near the water like that with units. That's a great reminder from Albtrom. Okay, let's dive in and let's take care of this battle. So, yeah, as always, though, big thank you to everybody for the excellent comments and suggestions. And I thought it kind of made sense to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and go through them while we were waiting on the turn to flip over. So, all right, I think we're going to let them come to us, and I think we're actually going to fight them this turn because we now have our Goblin Bard. So now let's just kind of decide how we want to arrange ourselves here. I think what we'll do, again, our Bard and our... let's see. Yeah, our Bard is going to be our ranged attack, so we're going to just use our other units up front here. Let's kind of go like this. And the Bard can sit in the back. Now, the tricky part here is that we have to kill all the lost souls and then still deal with these reanimators back there. Or the reanimator back there, I should say. Nice. Critical hit there. The thing about that sucks is now these lost souls can come back thanks to Undying, so we do have to watch out for that. Alright, so we can do a little bit of damage with our Bard. Oh, very nice. And then we can probably get the kill with our Marauder right here. Excellent. And then our half-breed... Ooh, actually, this half-breed has spirit damage, so maybe we... Let's see. It would be great to step up and deal with this loss, so I think we'll put ourselves in defense right there. And then we'll step in like this, do some work on the lost souls. Fortunately, we can't quite flank around, but what we can do is park ourselves right there. Let's see what happens. We're going to take some damage. We might lose a unit or two, but... Okay, very nice. So we're actually in really good shape now. Let's step up with the Bard here. Oh, yeah, big damage potential here, so we can do that. Excellent. Kind of a low roll, unfortunately, but... so now we have to watch out for which ones are going to come back. So I believe this one is coming back, and this one is coming back. So we want to have units on both of those spots to prevent them from regenerating. I think we'll use the Marauder down here to do our main damage. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll do some work there. Excellent. And then what we'll do is we'll move this half-breed, keep that one there, and this one can sit there to prevent the Undying from coming into play. Meanwhile, this half-breed, I think we will probably just retreat back to try to keep alive. Alright, let's see what happens. Fantastic. Okay, and we didn't actually lose anybody, so really good outcome there on that battle. Nice level ups here for a few of our units as well. Okay, so some domain invasions that we'll have to address. And of course, Poison Mastery was disjuncted, so we might want to switch from Summon Spirit Elemental back over. Holy, look at this. So we've now got our map fully exposed, and you can see all of the cities underground. That's amazing. Wow. Just look at that map. I've never gotten this upgrade before, so it's really cool to get to see the entire map. Here's the Shadow Realm. We might actually have to spend some time just kind of looking around at everything now that we have the opportunity. So actually, here's a great situation. So let's see what the deal with Nero is. So we were thinking about maybe having Nero go up this way. And let's see what would happen. So if we send him up there, we're not going to get stuck. We're going to be able to go through this dragon dwelling, which hopefully we're going to be able to make a vassal here very soon. And then there's a tomb over here. There's lots of stuff. Additional vassal opportunities. Yeah, so you know what? We could just keep Nero in the Shadow Realm and just have him continue just growing in power. I think that's probably not a bad idea. We've had a tribute offer here. Let's go back to the surface. All right, so here's the surface. Boy, there's just so much now that we can see with this upgrade. And that's again, that's available to us because we had the Explorer specialization. So now where is... So the throne of our opponent is here. So chances are he probably owns a few more of these cities around here, probably. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, that's really cool. This is going to help us out now when we're trying to decide kind of where to go and, you know, what paths our units should take. We can definitely now... So we'll embark Beneaths, and we'll just keep them right there. Meanwhile, the rest of our units can keep moving over. Now, let's see. Can we clear this and get some extra movement back? Oh, it's recharged in a single turn, so unfortunately not right now. But we can head over here. And then we'll bring our Shadow Stalker over as well to sit with Volinara just to provide some additional protection. Meanwhile, these units, I think, can get most of the way up there, and they can. Very nice. Okay. So yeah, that's actually really, really good for us. In terms of, yeah, this situation with Poison Mastery, we'll have to decide, do we want to maybe switch this back over and get Poison Mastery up and running again? Might not be a bad idea because that does kind of boost all of our units. Let's check out these domain invasions. So Hamplet, it's just this unit that's been kind of pestering us. And then Issel, it is, yeah, this pesky group over here that we're eventually going to deal with. Now, we do have a Shadow Stalker at our disposal, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, we lost a unit due to auto combat there. Albtrom had mentioned that you never want to underestimate Wisps because they are actually quite dangerous. And, you know, I kind of paid the price for that with my auto combat choice. I lost my tier 2 archer unit there. So we'll have to decide how we want to deal with that. If we want to maybe go for it now that we've got the Shadow Stalker, we'd be up against this tier 3 Lizardman Archer, which could be a bit of a challenge, but I think we'd be able to handle it not without too much problems. We've had a tribute offer from some giants. Let's take the small army. Ooh, excellent. We got ourselves an ogre. That's really good. Now, the only problem with this is that the ogre is kind of in a position where he's kind of on his own, which isn't ideal. So we'll have to figure out how best to kind of try and get him into the fight. Maybe we send him south along the river here or something like that. But in any case, we'll have to think about what to do with him. Right now, I'm going to just kind of procrastinate on making that choice. Let's see, what else is going on? Okay, we've had, again, a ton of joint offers. And then we have the Storm Lair that's now been produced in our Dragon Dwelling. So now we can start producing Storm Dragons, which is very exciting. I would really like to do that. We could do an Orb of the First Age to provide True Sight and Giant Slayer, but I really don't think we're going to be fighting a ton of giant units necessarily. Although, we do have, I believe, 2 Druid opponents, and yeah, 1 Druid, 2 Druids there. And Druid opponents, our Druid opponents will be able to make their tier 4 unit, the, the name of it is escaping me, but he's like the Forest God. He's a giant, and he counts as a giant unit. Again, the name of it is escaping me for some reason, but the tier 4 unit for the Archdruid is going to be a giant, so it could be worth actually doing this. That said, I think for now we'll just make 1 or 2 of them just to have some, because I want to see them in action, to be honest. And look at our gold income. We're doing extremely well, getting almost 1,000 gold per turn just purely in income generation, and we have over 2,000 gold in our coffers right now, so we're in really good shape economically speaking. And then we've had a ton of Shadow Stalkers produced here, so let's go and, yeah, let's start taking advantage of this. So if we were to move down here, we could try and fight this battle. You know what? I think we'll do it. Let's get it done while we can. We can even bring this unit down to help us. And then let's initiate the battle with the crow here. All right. Now we have to be careful. We don't want our Shadow Stalker to die, but I think we'll be fine. Ouch. So there's that archer attack, and you can see that the throw circles, it hits the first unit and then can spread to other units, which is kind of neat. Let's see. So we can attack the Slither here for some big damage, and I'm thinking that's probably what we'll do. Mariner's already fired the pistol. And then, yeah, we can go in and deal with the circle thrower. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll step up with the Initiate. And yeah, we'll do this. There's some pretty hefty damage. Our other Initiates can step up as well and provide a bit of assistance. Ooh, and there's a nice flanking shot, actually. Let's do that. There we go. And then we can send in our Naga Guardian. And then we'll send in our Shadow Stalker here onto the Slither. Meanwhile, we'll keep our Grimbeak Crow back because Crow isn't in great shape at the moment. Okay, Slip Away was used. Oh, they ensnared our unit. That's not great. Thankfully, the regrowth is going to help keep them alive, which is what we need. Our Initiate can step up like this. Do a nice flank shot there. And then I think our other Initiate here can probably get the kill. Oh, yeah. Perfect. And then we can blast the Mariner here for some big damage. And get the kill, no problem at all. And then that's going to do it. So now we've just got the Naga Slither left. Nice, and it went for the Shadow Stalker. That's totally fine. We can actually use our Initiate to flank the Slither if we wanted. Let's see, did we get a level up already? Yeah, we did. So, you know what? Let's just do the Shadow Stalker here. We'll shadow step in behind and then get the flank shot for some massive, massive damage with the backstab there. Boy, I really, really like these Shadow Stalkers. And now we used Shadow Step there, and that's because we finished off researching Dark Pact. So now our Shadow Stalkers are that much more powerful, which is fantastic for us. So now what we want to do, we probably want to just use this stack to start clearing things out around here, and I think that's going to be kind of the priority. Of course, we've got this Pirate's Nest over here, unfortunately, which we're going to have to deal with. That's kind of annoying. We can step over here. We have to be cognizant of how much health the Shadow Stalker has left, but I think we'll be okay. Can do this one. And I'm doing these manually just because I don't want, you know, to have any kind of mix-ups or any units being killed off. If I can avoid it, of course. So, let's see. We've got our Guardian here. Now, these Wisps are going to be a problem. Definitely want to get rid of them. I'm actually thinking I'm going to use the Shadow Stalker potentially to do that, although might be better to actually head in here and attack the Apprentice. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we do that. Ooh, I have to be very careful, though. This Phantasm Warrior, because it does shock damage, and we have shock weakness thanks to static electricity, we actually have to be very careful. So, you know what? Let's go up here and just sit next to the Wisp. Our Crow, we're going to just run back into the corner. And then I think maybe what we'll do is... Oh boy, I have to be really careful with this Shadow Stalker. I don't want the Shadow Stalker to die. But it would be nice to kind of tie up the Apprentice here. That would help provide some protection to the Naga Guardian, who otherwise might be in some trouble. But I think maybe what we'll do is we'll keep the Stalker kind of in reserve, along with our Initiates. And our Initiates can go back like this. And then we'll let things play out. Okay, so the Guardian's tanking damage, no problem. Ooh. Oh, and we got... Yeah, I guess I should have seen that one coming. So unfortunately what happened there is we got shocked, and or stunned, I should say, and that cost us. So we lost the Crow and we lost the Guardian, which is a real shame. And now we're actually in a bit of trouble here. This battle is going to be substantially more difficult to win now. Boy, oh boy. Let's see. So we've got to deal with the Wisp. That's non-negotiable at this point. So I think we can go here and flank. Oh, no, we can't. Okay, so we'll come in this way and get the flank shot. There's one. And there's two. Okay, that takes care of that. Now our Shadow Stalker needs to... Well, needs to not die, really, is the big thing. You know what? Let's step over here. And we'll even go like this. Even though we're not flanking, that at least puts us in a better position from this angle. We might actually lose the Shadow Stalker, which would be a real shame. Okay, there we go. Men Magical Being. Oh, I thought the Wisp was dead. Okay, I guess not. Well, this battle was a bit of a disaster. Again, I probably got a little overconfident here. Let's go in and just deal with the Apprentice here. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully the Stalker doesn't get killed by the Shock Serpent. Okay, they went for the Initiates. Wow, yeah, this was a bit of a disaster. And I think a bit is an understatement. All right, let's move in and see if we can... Yeah, we should be able to fight the Shock Serpent. There we go. Well, at least the Shadow Stalker is still alive. But I lost everybody else in that battle, so that was a bit of a catastrophe. Got some extra knowledge, which, I mean, that's great. But so now we'll have to head back and build ourselves a new army. So let's see, we can do some other units here. Let's maybe do a Bard. And that will... The High Elf Bard also will have Shoot Longbow and Charm, so we can maybe recruit some extra units. But yeah, that was a total blunder of a battle there. Whoops. Let's see. Yet again, you know, as I literally just said, don't underestimate Wisps, and I totally did. If we go over to Lilac here, we've got our other Shadow Stalker that's produced. I think we're going to just keep kind of sending these units to the front lines. That was sort of our battle plan before. We did have some that we sent underground, though, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, these two. So I was kind of trying to figure out what to do with them. You know, they're really expensive to have as scouts because, as you can see, they have 20 upkeep per turn. So, you know, I don't really want to use them as glorified scouts. That's probably not the most efficient use of them. But we can head over here and at least make contact with these Nagas. We will negotiate. Oh, and they want to be our vassal right off the hop. Absolutely, I will accept that. Thank you very much. And then now the question is, where do we want to send them? We've got options. We could just kind of start heading over to other cities over here, I guess. Like, again, we've got a city down here. Bunch of, it looks like orc cities, so, you know, that wouldn't be so bad. Start kind of solidifying our grip on the underground a little more. Obviously, it'd be nice to grab that treasure, but I think I'd rather have them start heading towards the city. So, you know what? Let's do that. We'll head down here. We'll kill off these units. I think I'm okay to do this one in auto combat. I'm a little concerned about that Shadow Stalker, but... oh, yeah, it's fine. And then... oh, and look at this. Oh, and this is interesting. A Nomad War Elephant. That's pretty cool. So it's a Nomad unit riding an elephant. Very cool. Yeah, and wall crushing and demolisher. This is sort of like the Frostling Mammoth Rider unit. Lots of health. Flaming charge. There it is. This unit does an additional 4 fire damage while charging. Yikes. So that's on top of charge. That's... wow, that could be devastating. Holy cow. So yeah, we'll send them this way. Keep them in the water. And grab the haste berries next turn and then head down and try and claim some of these cities underground. Alright, Edinburgh's produced another Shadow Stalker as well. And in Edinburgh, if I'm not mistaken, we were kind of working on... yeah, we were. We were moving some units over to deal with this lost city. So now let's take a look at what's inside. Nice, and it is Naga units. So we've got Glutton, we've got a Feathered Serpent, and then we've got a bunch of other Naga Tier 2 units. So that actually bodes well for us because Shadow Stalkers are actually pretty good against Naga units. So what we'll do is we'll move another Shadow Stalker in there. We're probably going to need a couple of them. I think, you know, more than 2 for sure. So what we'll do is we'll keep doing Shadow Stalkers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send the Priest over as well when it comes time. But for now, he's going to stay on the city. So it's a little expensive to have the Shadow Stalker sitting here for a turn or 2, but, I mean, we can afford it, clearly. So once we're able to clear that, we might then head down and also try out the Forbidden Sanctum and see if we can clear that out as well. We've produced a Builder. Very nice. Okay, so this Builder is going to join our... naval fleet that's moving down along the kind of south here. So let's head over and grab the treasure while we're in the area. And then we can actually head down and clear out this pirate's nest, which would be excellent. When we're up against some lizardmen, let's do it. All right. Well, I think we want to kind of retreat back and blast them for some damage here. Yeah, very nice. Kind of do the same thing over here. Nice, we got the kill. And then we'll actually save our other cannon shot, I think. Yeah, we'll save that one. Alright, so the next priority is going to be to get rid of the circle thrower, who obviously can put some hurt on us if we're not careful. So we'll just kind of retreat over like this. And then is there a way we can blast? It's not really looking like it. Not from that angle anyway. Let's see if we go over here. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, we can blast the circle thrower. Very nice. And now we'll have our other cannon shots back, which is great. A little bit of damage there, but, I mean, we can handle that. That wasn't too extreme. Now, the question is... okay, yeah, they're not in movement range, so we should be okay if we blast this one here. And then do some hefty damage to this Trident Warrior. Very nice there, actually a critical. And then we can actually step up and almost potentially get the kill, so let's try it. Excellent. And we're still out of range. Perfect. Okay, that went extremely well for us. So now we can just cannon shot, and then ram, and we should get the kill. There's 1 and 2. Reaper's Hood, let's see. Oh, and it gives you weakening. It's a legendary item that gives you weakening breath. You know, this one would be great for units that have the chance to convert or whatever, because weakened units obviously have lower resistance, which is pretty powerful. That said, I just don't know if any of my heroes... I think some of my heroes don't have headgear. So you know what? I'll take this for now. Let's at least go see what my heroes have kind of at their disposal for headwear. Yeah, we don't have anything on Volinara, so... Benice has decent headgear. Nero has pretty good headgear, actually. Gnulsa does. This is the one that gives her Inflict Despair, which is very powerful. Zhang does not. So Volinara and Zhang could both benefit. Of course, the Weakening Breath might be less useful for them, although once they do have Inflict Ghoul Curse, it's actually going to be very good for them, because then having that lower resistance is going to make a big difference when we try to Ghoul Curse units. So that's actually going to be pretty useful. So let's send this off to whichever one is closer, which is probably Volinara. Oh, I guess they're about the same. Oh, you know what? Zhang is only 2 turns, so let's send it to Zhang. Very nice. And then, yeah, we're going to send these boats over, and we're going to have our builder join in, so the builder can just kind of go sit over here. I think we'll be safe just kind of hanging out. Now, the settler. We want to send our settler probably north. We were thinking maybe to... I'm just trying to think. There was an island. Yeah, this island over here. So we'll start heading that way. You know, hopefully... I think we've cleared most of the pirate units around here, so we should be safe. Or at least, you know, safe-ish, I guess. Now, this stack was clearing out structures over here, so we cleared out the ancient ruins. We can head over and clear out the farm and this structure as well, the trading post. So let's maybe head over and do that. You know what? We can probably do this one with just the Shadow Stalkers, actually. That should be fine. Do that one in auto combat. Got a boar and some gold. You know what? I'll take that just so I have an extra unit at my disposal over here. And the boar can just hang out. Actually, you know what? The boar can join in with this stack just to provide a little more protection in case something were to attack them. Okay, let's see. We have lots of other things we can do. So over here we have some units that we were able to actually take this. This used to be a vassal that belonged to Reynald. So structures to clear. We can go for this lost library, which would be great. So let's head over and do that. Ooh, and look at that. We've got our opponent here with some units. This is Grelka's units. Not able to attack them directly, but if we head over like this, we can enter the Lost Library and do some clearing. This is one where I think I could probably do auto combat and be okay. I mean, I have to be careful because there is a Evangelist. Let's try it. Nice. Okay, we didn't lose anybody. And we got some experience there with the Storm Sister, so... Aura of Inspiration. Very nice. Okay, so that got us one of our spells, which is really good. Taking care of that. So, yeah, scout unit from Grelka. Let's see, I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else to clear out on this little island. I suppose we could grab this watchtower. That would actually be useful. So let's do that. And then I think we have Gnulsa underground still, so we'll jump over to Gnulsa. And yeah, with Gnulsa, our goal was to kind of head up this way, and this is where Olarmian's new territory is that he took from Larissa. So we're going to send her straight up this way. And we can actually clear out this structure while we're in the area. There's a High Elf Stormbow, so let's do this manually, and I'll try to maybe convert that Stormbow. Obviously, having the Elven unit underground isn't ideal, but the Stormbow actually is decently powerful, so we'll see if we can kind of take advantage of that. Head over here, throw on the Weaken, and then let's just send our Ogre in to just obliterate some units here. Do a buff on our cavalry there. Now with Gnulsa, the question is, do we want to maybe wait to do... Okay, let's attack the Union Guard for some big damage. And then you know what? Let's just get the kill right here. Great. And then we can charge in and attack the swordsman. Very good. Now with Gnulsa, we can just fly over. Try for the convert. Oh, it didn't work. Or the charm, I should say, not to convert. When our big boy's taking some damage, but we can just heal him up, so not a problem there. Let's grab our heal with Gnulsa. Very nice. And then between our other units, we should be able to just dish out some damage here. That takes care of the Stormbow. Just like that, we're done that one. We got some Goblin race governance experience, which is great. That's very good for us. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll have to tunnel through this wall here. So what we'll do is we'll actually use our tunneler to do a bit of the work, kind of ahead of the stack. And there you can see Olarmian's territory. So, yeah, we need to get over there and deal with that. So, we'll head back this way just so we're not on our own from the stack. But next turn, we're going to keep tunneling through that wall. All right, now we have Zhang here. So, Zhang, we were, again, trying to get up to level 7. And we're actually pretty close. So, I think in the next battle, we should be able to do it. And then we could turn around and go back to this tomb and see if maybe we can get our hands on a powerful unit out of there. That would be kind of cool for us. So let's head down here. We're just up against some elven units, which should be relatively straightforward for us to clear out. Now, I'm doing this one manually because I want to, maximize my potential experience gain with Zhang here if I can. So let's do some work here. Very nice. Okay, so now what are we at? 343. Okay, perfect. We can charge in with our Wraith King and do some work. There we go. And then we can actually probably get the kill over here with our caster. Excellent. Yeah, we can do some damage here. Not a ton, but a little bit. And then charge in with our cavalry. Very nice. And that'll do it for our turn. Ooh, they tried that stunning touch on us. That was a good choice on their part. Had that been successful, that would have been pretty major. Alright, so now we got to try and bail out our caster down there, who's in a little bit of trouble. Thankfully, our Wraith King can help out. The Initiate's going to be a bit of an issue, but we can charge in and kind of deal with that. So, alternatively, we could just suck up the attacks. I mean, we could definitely take the damage. I think what we'll do, though, is we'll move over like this. We'll do a little bit of damage here, and then we'll bring Zhang over and just get the kill. Okay, now we should be... Yeah, we're 2 experience away from leveling up, which is great. So now our unit can step over, do a nice big flank shot. We can step back with the caster and just blast and get the kill there. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, our cavalry here can just get the kill. And our cadaver can step over and tie up the bladesman. Okay, so our cadaver went down. But what we'll do is we'll move over with Zhang. And we'll bring the cadaver back. And there's our level up. There we go. That's exactly what we needed. Level 7. Heal ourselves. Kind of step over, do some work. Excellent. And then get the kill. Perfect. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, Wand of Fiery Doom gives access to Firebolts. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. Why not? We'll just take a quick look. I think Zhang has, yeah, Blowpipe and Black Wand, so we could give it to Zhang. That's not the worst idea. It's always nice to have kind of a multitude of different elemental options for ranged attacks like that. So now we can send this stack back up this way and go for that tomb if we wanted. And then, you know what? After that, we could even head above ground. So that would bring us up right here. And then we could start kind of pushing north, or we could even head over and clear out this haunted boneyard and this tomb over here. There's lots of options for Zhang. So we'll kind of keep that we'll keep our options open. But we're going to head up this way, I think, and grab the tomb for sure. Real quick, I just wanted to take a look. So this Archon Revenant Cavalry is now gold medal, and I think, yeah, so now this unit actually has Inflict Curse, which is really, really good. That Inflict Curse would actually improve our odds of getting things like Ghoul Curse or other effects like, let's see here. Where is it? Should be listed under... Oh, I'm on Zhang, not the Cavalry. There it is. Let's see, Inflict Curse, there it is. So yeah, because it reduces resistance by 2, that would actually improve my odds of landing Inflict Ghoul Curse. So really, really good. Now, let's take a look at other options. Again, all join offers. We've kind of done most of our other things here, but we will do Zhang's level up now that we have the option. So we are going to grab Greater Reanimate Undead. There it is. That's the big one. And then we're also going to probably grab... maybe something else while we can. We could increase casting points. We could do Inflict Despair. Again, that's also going to improve our odds of landing Inflict Ghoul Curse once we get access to it. And that's because of the Spirit weakness. Alternatively, we could do some spell casting options, like Siphon Life is a pretty good one, especially for healing undead units. Raise Dead is a decent one, as that basically just summons a bunch of cadavers from corpses on the battlefield. So, you know what? Maybe we just do the casting points, actually. That's not the worst thing. There we go. Very nice. And then I think that's pretty much most of our stuff underground. Again, we have to figure out what to do with this ogre up at that giant dwelling. We're going to have to decide what to do. So once this cavalry is produced, we can add the cavalry into this stack and then maybe send this one in to go and start causing some havoc around our vassals here, clearing out structures and maybe paving the way for us to absorb some of these vassals as full-fledged cities. So I think maybe what I'm going to do is send him into the water and then have him kind of just head on down and try to get closer to some of my territory there. Okay. Yeah, Master Cartographer. So we're going to have to decide now, what do we want to research? That's going to be a big choice for us coming up. With these goblins, too, eventually I'd like to go and try and clear this structure out. That would be really good for us. We're working on a Goblin Assassin who will add into the stack, and then we can probably go and do this battle without too much trouble, I'm hoping. Might lose a unit or two, but if we can get it done, that's going to be the important part. Let's go back. Let's go to the Shadow Realm here, and we can deal with Nero. So Nero can head over here, and here's some Wisps again. Let's do this one manually just to make absolutely certain that we aren't in any problems. After that last fiasco with the auto combat, I don't want to do that again. All right, so probably want to drop a big heal on one of our units here. We'll do the cavalry because they're kind of in the roughest of shape there. Our Banshee's not really in great shape either, however. Shock Serpent will charge in and do some work. And our Deathbringer can kind of just hang out right there. Our Banshee, we're going to retreat back right into the corner. And our Pony Rider, I think, will just sort of go right there. Okay, going after the hero, that's okay. Thankfully, the Shock Serpent is immune to their shock damage and the effects and stuff, so no real problem there at all, as you can see. Does that... Oh, yeah, I can affect the Wisp. All right, let's do that. Very nice. And I think that turns them around so that Nero can actually step away, which is really good. And then we can do some Frost Bolts and get the kill that way. Perfect. And there's some extra casting points, which is great. So you know what? That means we can probably do Spirit Elemental, and we might still have enough left to do Poison Mastery as well. So let's do the Spirit Elemental, and then we can do the Poison Mastery after that. So the big question is going to be, where do we want to put this Spirit Elemental? And one thing I was actually thinking would be, it might be nice to have this Spirit Elemental join in with... Oh, where is that? I have some units underground here. There it is, these ones. Because they could use a healer, it might be nice to actually have some backup for them. And I could summon it right here and then have it move down to join them. Wouldn't be the worst idea ever. Let's do that. Now, the only thing that sucks about doing that is, of course, the unit doesn't get the benefit of being summoned in a city with spiritual freedom. But that's okay because these units do need some healing. So that way we're going to have a healer for the stack. And then they're going to be kind of fully autonomous too. So that did use up all of our casting points. So we'll have to do Poison Mastery next turn, that's fine. I guess I shouldn't really be surprised. Oh, you know what? We have enough to do scout training in one turn, or just right now. So let's do that. Get that out of the way. Let's see what else we've got here. Off the beaten path, irregular units receive mountaineering, forestry, and wetlands walking. Greater disjunction wouldn't be so bad in case some of our opponents start throwing out some really nasty spells. This is a combat spell that makes a unit gain 60% physical protection and pass wall until the end of combat. Cruel Backstab. Again, we've talked about the utility of this one, that it would affect my irregular and infantry, which would mean my cadavers would also get it, which is pretty cool. Casting points is always a good choice. I think maybe we'll go casting points just to boost that up a little bit more. All right, let's see what else we can do now. So we can do some production choices. Let's just double check. Did we finish? I think we finished in the Shadow Realm with Nero. Oh no, we could keep going. That's right. Okay. So we'll jump over here. You know what? We might as well raid this structure since we're near it, so we might as well do it. Hang on, maybe before we do that, let's make contact with these dragons. All right. Negotiate. Oh, and they want to be our vassal right away. Absolutely. I think that's partially because we have such a good reputation, and we also have the upgrades due to being Keeper of the Peace and a Rogue. We're getting a ton of benefit from just gaining vassals like crazy, so that is fantastic. We'll send this little guy over here. Again, we want to use him to grab some gold and whatnot, so... Alright, now back to this situation. Let's do this. We're going to have to be careful because this isn't an easy battle by any stretch, but... Mainly because of that wall that they have, of course. Now let's see, can we heal? You know what, let's heal the Deathbringer. I think the Deathbringer's probably going to be kind of heading in over the wall and probably doing some work. Send our Shock Serpent in, of course. And then our Banshee's probably going to hang back. Our Cavalry can ride up. Okay, those Blessed Arrows coming in, doing some work on us. Thankfully, we can tolerate that. Again, if one of our units goes down, we can always revive them, so I'm not super concerned. I just have to be a little bit cautious. Yeah, our Deathbringer can kind of move over like this, I think. We just have to be mindful because that spirit damage is quite good against us since we are undead after all. The Banshee can move up just a little bit. Getting a nice despair debuff on them would be helpful. Nice, our Shock Serpent just totally stunned the crap out of those Paladins, which is great. You know what, we can even run back and then charge in with our Cavalry and get the finish, I think. Or be very close to it anyway. Excellent. And then you know what we'll do with our Deathbringer is we will jump right up on the wall behind them. Like this. Do a big damage there. They resisted our Inflict Ghoul Curse, which is annoying, but we should be able to just throw a chicken and kill them here. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Again, our Banshee we want to kind of keep back because we don't want more than one of our units dying. I'm anticipating, yeah, the Cavalry were maybe going to die there, so had to be a little bit careful. Now, how do we handle this situation? So obviously our Deathbringer can step up like this and maybe do some work. We could also bash the gates with our Pony Rider, so let's maybe do that. There we go. Our Shock Serpent, I think we'll just kind of get out of the danger zone. Our Banshee, we're going to probably keep the Banshee back because Wail of Despair, although useful, to use it, we have to kind of get in range. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep him out of the danger zone. So I think what we'll do is we'll have Nero kind of gently come over while staying protected a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's what I needed. Yeah, the cavalry tanked the damage, no problem at all. And then our Deathbringer here can basically jump in behind, flank that unit. They're immune to Ghoul Curse. We're not really that concerned about getting a Ghoul Curse off at this stage. And then what we'll do is we will revive our Pony Rider, and they can kill or almost kill the Foot Soldier. Very good. All right, we're in good shape now. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure we didn't lose anybody there. Ooh, and look at that, a Vampire Spider. Now that's a pretty good mount. Let's see, we get Lifesteal, Improved Wall Climbing, 40% Blight Protection, Night Vision, and Greater Webbing Touch. So definitely not a bad choice there. Jug of Eternal Joy. This one's less useful, but the Vampire Spider's pretty good. That Lifesteal especially is nice. We'll take it. Now let's see. Do we want to maybe switch out our Warg for the Vampire Spider? That's a good question. Let's look at what we get out of this. So we already have full Blight Protection because we're undead. So that's not really a concern. The Frost Protection is great because we don't have full Frost Protection. Due to being undead, we just have, I think, 40%, and then the Warg is providing an additional 40%. So that's kind of exciting. Let's see here. So then if we look at what else we have Overwhelm, Night Vision, which I think we already have as a Goblin. Arctic Concealment, that's kind of useless. Let's see. Yeah, so not a bad mount, but I actually kind of like having the Warg for Nero. That said, we could stack Lifesteal because obviously a Necromancer can get Lifesteal as an upgrade, so that wouldn't be so bad. Let's jump around to our other heroes and just check out. Okay, so yeah, Zhang doesn't even have a mount, so yeah, it might be nice to actually send the mount off to somebody else. Neither does Volinara, and Volinara is kind of on the front lines of battle, so you know what? Let's send it to Volinara. Yeah, I like that. I like that plan a lot. We'll give this to Volinara. Meanwhile, the Jug of Eternal Joy, let's just check. I think all our heroes have jewel items. Yeah, they do. So this is just going to be a sell. All right. Nice. That worked out pretty well. Now, as for these units, I mean, we could clear out everything on our way up, and it would be good to get rid of this spawning structure. So maybe we do that. Maybe we actually go this way. So yeah, I think Nero, we'll just leave him in the Shadow Realm and he'll be kind of our only Shadow Realm force, really. Although we do have some Wyverns over here as well. But we're not going to be sending any additional units into the Shadow Realm. Okay, let's see. So we will open our borders with them. And they'll become our vassal, hopefully in a few turns. So we'll keep, you know what, we'll keep heading this way and see what we can see up here. I mean, unfortunately, it looks like we've just got nothing but void up here, so yeah. All right, well, that's all right. There's actually a tomb here that's already been explored, which is kind of interesting. I don't think we've been up here. So we would have made contact with this Archon dwelling. So that's interesting. I wonder if that means that an opponent has been over here. I'm not exactly sure. Either that or it just started off that way. In any case, we'll jump around and do some production now. So in Umboku, we have to decide what to produce. We could keep going Shadow Stalkers. We could go Galleons. I'm thinking Shadow Stalkers because, I mean, Shadow Stalkers are just devastating, especially with the new upgrade for them. There's another one. And we can actually send this one off to war as well, along with this Succubus here. So Yeah, we'll just head up this direction. There we go. And yeah, this one's going to just hang out and guard our heroes. This one we were moving in to, again, come into battle over here. We do have ourselves this High Elf Bard, who we were kind of deciding if maybe we want to add into a stack or not. You know what? I'm kind of liking the idea, so let's get our Bard involved. The reason being that the Bard does have Charm, so we might be able to kind of take advantage of that. The Lizardman Galleon Builder combo over here, we've got some work to do, so let's clear out some additional structures. And then, you know what? It wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe think about sending the Lizardman north to eventually join up with Beneaths. Although, you know, I mean, again, we would get some benefit out of that, but it's also nice just having the unit in here with the Galleons. So, you know what? Maybe we just keep this and have it be like the Aquatic Doom stack. And I'm going to do these ones manually just because I'm a little wary of the AI with cannon shots. I don't know exactly how they're going to do with that, so I'm going to just take command. And we'll just kind of try and pull them to attack us here. Okay, they're not going to do that. That's fine. We can just keep blasting away. Let's see if they're going to... Ah, here we go. Okay, and did these ones line up? Oh, they did. That's perfect. Now I can take full advantage of that. I'm right over here. And I can move these ones back. And then basically just do a nice cannon shot here for some hefty damage. And our builder can retreat back. Our galleons are all in full health, so we don't have to worry really about healing them. Nice, the one burned to death. That's kind of funny. Okay. And then we can cannon shot that Kraken like that. We can step up and do some work with our Lizardman if we wanted. But I think I'd rather just kind of make sure we get the kill with our galleons here. So let's do that. There's one, and there's two. Perfect. All right, so that clears out that structure. Decent melee weapon and melee strength elemental slayer. We're just going to sell that for gold. Here's a kind of funny little island. It's a wizard tower ruin that's just kind of right here on an island. We'll head over to this shrine because we're able to. And this one I'm confident we can do in auto combat. Yeah, there we go. Our Lizardman did take a bit of damage, it looks like. Although he might have had that before, I'm not sure. But... Oh, and did I... Oh, the builder couldn't move there. Okay, well that's interesting. I don't know what happened there. I must have... Maybe I didn't have the whole stack selected or something. Well, that's frustrating because the builder now can't move with the rest of the stack. That said, I think what we'll do is we'll head over... Oh, and we've got... No, I was going to say... Because what I wanted is to have the builder get the extra movement benefit from that shrine, and then we could head over as a group and kill this off. Because now, if I move away from this, I'm going to leave the builder vulnerable, so that's a bit of an oopsie. So we'll have to just keep the stack together there and move them next turn. This little guy, we were going to have him do some exploring, but he can't really do that by himself, so... And now that we have Explorer set up, we don't really need to worry about that. So you know what? Maybe we'll have him... I don't know. He's kind of, I don't want to say he's useless, but not a whole lot he can do. I'm just looking around to see if there's any gold or anything to grab, and there really isn't. We've kind of explored this whole region pretty aggressively. Maybe we'll just have him go back that way. Okay, we've got our underground units here who are going to kind of move in to reinforce Gnulsa's position. So that's what we'll do. And then, right, and these ones we're going to just tell them to chill out. Oh, and we have another Shadow Stalker moving in to help. I almost forgot. And this builder can just wait. Along with these undead, can just wait. Alright, and there we go. Nero's turn is basically done as well. Alright, perfect. So that's going to do it for the turn here. What we'll do is we'll flip the turn over, and then I think we'll end the episode there. So let's have the turn flip over. You know what? While that's going on, let's just kind of survey the map now that we can see everything. So we'll zoom out here and let's just kind of look around. Oh, and you know what? We can actually... Oh, I didn't realize this, but once that happens, you can actually see the throne cities. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, this is great. Let's look at this. I'm glad I did this. We have Nekras here, which is the throne of one of our opponents. Slotor, Gallon, and then we have Takonda. And, of course, Rabia S. So let's count that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of them is either underground or in the Shadow Realm. I'm assuming underground. So this is... Yeah, here it is. Ambrudor, which is the Dwarven, I'm assuming, probably of Olarmian. So, yeah, once we've kind of made our way up here and we take out Gurgu, we might be able to then kind of push our way north through, assuming we're able to do this, of course. I don't want to get ahead of myself. If we can manage to take out Gurgu, we could cut our way through this little path, take on Durlag, and then move up north this way, go to Rimand, and then fight our way to Ambrudor. So obviously this would be quite a mess of fighting, but, you know, again, we have a pretty strong stack, and we can keep recruiting units with our Control Undead and Charm abilities. So I'm thinking that's going to be kind of the pathway to success here. Is just push north with Gnulsa down there. Of course, I have to be careful because we don't want to lose Gnulsa. You know, that puts her in a lot of risk. So we'll have to kind of decide as we go. And let's go back to the surface. So yeah, we have Rabia Est here. We actually have Nekras over here, which is really cool. So this might be the throne city, perhaps, of... Actually, you know what? We can zoom in and see what race it is. That'll tell us a bit more about who it might be. Yeah, so this is an orc one, so I'm guessing this is Grelka. This is probably Grelka Greenclaw's throne city. Oh, and there's treasure rating getting disjuncted, of course. That's annoying. Let's see what else. So if we zoom back out, so this is Grelka most likely, and that would make sense as one of her units is nearby. We obviously know where our Nomad Warlord opponent is. Let's see, Slotor. Let's go look at that. Slotor looks to be... I'm actually not sure what race this is. So that might be another Nomad, perhaps? Let's go look. What does a Nomad city look like? Okay, so no, that's not Nomad. Is that... Oh, that's Goblin. What am I thinking? Yeah. I'm like, there's wetlands around. This is clearly Goblin. So that's probably Gnarlspin, the Goblin Archdruid here. So we know where he is. So the druids are kind of together. We've got Nekras and Slotor. So the druids are kind of in a package deal here. Then we've got our Nomad Warlord. And then we've got Takonda and Gallon. So let's see what Takonda is. So that's Nomad for sure. You can see these kind of red buildings. So Nomad. So that's probably our Nomad Sorcerer. And then the other one up north here, Gallon, is human. So that's going to be our Dreadnought. So just based on kind of the way the map is set up, the human opponent, our Edward Portsmouth, is probably going to be the last one that I encounter. Just because I'm kind of pressing from the south, and I'm going to be kind of just pushing northward. So, you know what? This is great. Now that I have this, I can start sending my Shadowstalker swarms in kind of like a targeted strike. So, for example, I have that one group that's clearing the island right here. If I could maybe add another unit or two into this group, I could actually have them cut straight for Takonda and see if maybe I can deliver sort of a targeted strike and go for the throne city. I'll have to be careful, of course, but, you know, it might be an option. And then, of course, Reynald over here, we're going to have to just, you know, continue pushing all of our units. I think that's going to be, you know, hopefully fairly easy with all the mustered strength we have there. Nekras, we'll have to see. Maybe we can start making some units in Lilac and Kenton, and we could, or I guess Kenton's for boats, so yeah, Kahal is still a vassal. So maybe in Lilac and Mboku, we start making units and we start sending them over towards Nekras. You know, that wouldn't be so bad. And then we have to decide, what do we want to do with these units once they've hopefully successfully taken Rabia Est? Maybe we'll push north and go for Slotor after that. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. So yeah, wow, this makes a huge difference being able to plan out everything that's going on and to find out where the throne cities are. Boy, that's a game changer. Absolute game changer. Yeah, and again, I haven't really used the Explorer perk much before, so I didn't realize that you'd get to see literally everything like that. So that's amazing. I guess I should have realized that, because once you see the city, you can tell whether it's the... Oh, and look at that. I didn't even see this. Look at what Olarmian is doing. Yeah, there it is. He's got his Manticore Rider and his Phalanx. And, of course, this Vassal is not defended really at all. Now, can we get this unit in there? Probably not. I don't think we're going to have enough movement. Boy, that's a shame. So, yeah, let's see. Oh, we can. Okay, we can at least get our Succubus in there. I think our Shadow Stalker's probably too far away. Yeah, that's a shame. We can at least get the Succubus in there. Not that that's going to necessarily make a huge difference for us, but... And yeah, I think we'll call it an episode here right away, but we'll at least do a few things before we end it. We do have an alliance proposal here, and I will happily accept. That's pretty cheap, 114 gold. There we go. We got some new Tigrans. And let's see if there's any others. Gain lots of joint offers. And units that have been produced. Okay, so that takes care of that, at least for the alliance proposals. We did have the Wand of Fiery Doom arrive for Zhang there. And then we had another domain invasion, which is just these pesky units just hovering around my city, of course. A little bit more casting points. That's always nice. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a great place to end the episode. We'll have to deal with this situation, of course, because we've only got the one unit guarding our vassal here. So, at the very least, if we can get our Succubus involved here, that might give us a... I mean, we won't be able to win the battle, but, you know, maybe with some spells or something, we might have a chance. I don't know. Alternatively, I could try and switch my casting over and maybe try and figure out some way to gain some extra casting points and summon a unit in the domain of this vassal. I don't think any of my units are able to get there in time, no. Yeah, nothing's going to be able to get there except for that Succubus. So, anyway, something for next episode. So let's zoom out again and just take a look at this amazing map now that we can see the whole thing. So we're going to save this one. We're going to call this episode 20. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.